Hello and welcome to this lecture. And in this lecture, we are going to learn about link states. So we already know that how you can go ahead and create a link to a particular website on your web page. So in order to create a link, you use the ahref tag. So just as the ahref tag actually has an attribute to specify the actual path of the web page, it also has another important property which is called as the link state. So there are actually four major link states. The very first link state which we are going to learn is the normal link state. That means you go ahead, create a link to a particular website and that link is not visited yet. So that state of a link is called as unvisited link or a normal state. The next state is the visited state, which actually means that the link which you have on your web page is visited. So whenever you have a particular link on your web page and when it's visited, the appearance of that link actually changes. So let's take a simple example so as to understand how the link states actually work. So let's go ahead and create a link over here. So ahref, let's say http :/www.google.com. So once we have this link over here, let's actually name this thing as, let's say, simple link. Let me just save the code, go back over here and hit refresh, and it's already showing us the visited state. So let's do one thing. Let's try wikipedia.org instead of Google. So when I actually go ahead and just hit refresh, as you could see, now the link is not showing to be visited, because whenever you have a brand new fresh link, this is actually the link color, which is, it kind of appears blue. But as soon as you click this particular link and you visit that particular link, and when you go back to your web page, as you could see, now the color of your link changes because this link now becomes visited. And there is also one more state, that is when you hover this mouse over here, the link actually enters into a hover state. And whenever you actually click this link and hold your mouse button, the link color actually appears to be red, and this state is actually called as the active state. So we have discussed four states about these links, and using those four states, we can actually go ahead and determine how this link looks in those particular states. So for example, in a normal state, the link should look something different. In a click state or in a visited state, it should look different. When the link is hovered over, it should look different, so on and so forth. So let's first go ahead and define those properties over here. So we simply go to style.css, and in order to define the normal state of a link, we simply type in a::link, and here we specify the color which we want for a regular link which is not visited. So let's say we type color as green, and now if we save the code, go back over here and hit refresh, still it is not going to appear green because the link is already being visited. So now let's actually go ahead and define the color for the other states as well. So for defining the color when the link is visited, we type a::visited, and here we will specify the color of this thing to be, let's say, blue. So when we now go ahead and hit refresh, as you could see, now the visited link appears to be blue. Now let's go ahead and define the color when a mouse is hovered over the link. So we type a::hover, and here we'll actually go ahead and type in the color to be, let's say, hot pink. So now if I go back over here, hit refresh, and when I hover over the link, as you could see, now the link color actually changed. Now let's also go ahead and define the color when the link is actually clicked in this manner. So right now when I click this particular link, nothing actually happens. That is, the color does not change. But let's actually go ahead and change that. So we'll type in a::, that is going to be active, and let's say when the link is active, we want to use the yellow color. So simply specify yellow over here. And now if we go back to this page, hit refresh, and as I click and hold my mouse button, as you could see, the color of this link turned to yellow. So this is how you can go ahead and manage different link states using CSS. Now, as you might notice that the link has certain underline to it, and let's say you want to get rid of that underline. So in that case, whenever you want to remove the underline from the link, you can use the text decoration property. So you just go to CSS, and let's say for the normal state, you don't want the underline to be present over there. So you can simply type in text decoration and set this thing to none, and that's actually going to remove the underline for you. So I'll just simply copy this property and paste it in all of the link states, because let's say we don't want an underlined link anywhere. So now let me just go ahead and hit refresh, and as you could see, now in any state we don't have an underlined link. So that's how you can go ahead and remove an underline from any particular link. Now let's learn about how you can make a link appear like a button. So let's say for some reason you want to make your link appear like a button instead of just plain simple text, so that users should be able to make out that, okay, you click this particular thing to be redirected to some other page. So in order to actually go ahead and make this thing into a button, we have to go ahead and first of all we need to remove the underline, which we have already done here. And now you need to add some padding to this particular thing. So let's type in padding, and let's say the padding is going to be of 20 pixels. So when I specify 20 pixel once, that means 20 pixels is going to be the padding from all the four sides, that is top, left, bottom and right. So now one more thing which we need to do is that we need to align the text to center. So we will use the text align property and just type in center over here. And the final thing which we need to do is that we want to set the display type of that to be inline block. So display is going to be inline block. So what we will do now is that we will just copy all the three properties and paste it in all the three states, because we want all the three states to be, or all the four states to appear like a button. So now if we go back over here, hit refresh, as you could see, we actually have a button over here, but we are not able to make out that this is a button because we don't have any background color yet. So you also need to define the background color as well. So let's say we type in background color, and let's say the background color which we want for our button is red. So when we type in red over here, just make sure that you have it in all of the four states. And now once we are done with this, let's simply go over here and hit refresh, and now as you could see, this thing appears to be a button even though it's actually a link. So that's it for this lecture. Hopefully you guys were able to understand the different kinds of link states which we have learned in this lecture, and also how to make a button look like a link. So thank you very much for watching, and in the next lecture we will discuss about div and span.